As expected, the New Orleans attack has taken a dangerous twist, with the FBI now performing a spectacular U-turn to call it a terrorist attack. But the same FBI has told us in the immediate aftermath of the attack that this was not a terrorist event.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. My name is Alethea Duncan. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge for FBI New Orleans. As Chief Kirkpatrick said, we'll be taking over the investigative lead for this event. This is not a terrorist event. What it is right now is their improvised explosive devices that was found, and we are working on confirming if this is a viable device or not.
FBI agent Alethea Duncan had told us, despite knowing the fact that the identity of the main suspect was known and how he was a US citizen who had served in the US military. Let us recall what actually had happened on the fateful night. At 3:15 local time on the New Year's Day, a pickup truck rams into crowds gathered on Bourbon Street, known for hosting one of the largest New Year's Eve parties in the heart of New Orleans French Quarter. CCTV footage then showed how a white Ford pickup truck had raced onto the pavement to get around the police car before hitting pedestrians. The attacker was then seen getting out of the car before allegedly opening fire at police officers, injuring 2 of them. The FBI has said that the suspect was killed in the gunfight with 3 responding officers. The police had then said that the act was very intentional, adding that the suspect, identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar, was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did. However, within hours, the event was declared as terror attack. An ISIS flag was shown, placed on the floor in an upside-down position. This raised several questions as to why an alleged ISIS sympathizer would place the flag in an upside-down position. Surely he would know how to place the flag, given that it carries the Arabic text, which means there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet. The dead suspect reportedly worked as a real estate agent in Texas. When you look for more details about him on the Texas government website, this is what you get. According to this Texas government portal, his alternative names were Eli and Sham. Now you tell me, what kind of people have Eli as their names? Now this is another video of the man matching his identity, which has now surfaced on the internet.
Good evening. I'm Shamsuddin Jabbar, property manager with Blue Meadow Properties and team lead at the Midas Group at Core Realty. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years as a human resources specialist and IT specialist, where I learned the meaning of great service and what it means to be responsive and take everything seriously, dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that things go off without a hitch. So I've taken those skills and applied them to my career as a real estate agent, where I feel like what really sets me apart from other agents is my ability to be able to, one, be a fierce negotiator. So not only do I brilliantly market your property to make sure it gets sold as quickly as possible or gets leased as quickly as possible, but I'm also going to take every ounce of energy and putting it into negotiating for you and for your property to get the best deal that you can possibly get for it. So once we get to the closing table, all the I's are going to be dotted, all the T's are going to be crossed, everything's going to go off without a hitch. And that is my word that I'm giving to you as your real estate agent. So if that's the type of agent you're looking for, reach out to me. You see my phone number on the page. If not, it's 832-774-9718. Give me a call. And even if you don't want to have me as your agent, call me with any questions you may have. So even if you're a first-time home buyer, or you're an experienced real estate investor and you're just looking for somebody to help you with doing some analysis on some properties that you're looking at, either way, give me a call. I'm glad to help anytime, and I'm looking forward to talking to you.
But the biggest twist came this morning when a woman claiming to be a reporter posted a video from inside the house where the suspect allegedly lived. You only have to watch the video to understand a bigger conspiracy. An overwhelming majority of social media users is calling it staged. But I will let you make up your own mind. Just keep an eye on a few things to understand the dirty design. What kind of reporter turns up to report on a so-called terrorist attack which has killed more than 14 people in yoga pants? Also, how on earth do you get access to the house of a so-called terrorist so soon after an attack that has killed 14 people? Wouldn't you expect the investigating agency, which is the FBI in this case, to seal the house and preserve the forensic evidence? That is, if you are serious about your claims. She then lays special emphasis on Quran and Islamic books. She even identifies prayer rug, which even a devout Muslim wouldn't be able to identify. The camera then zooms on a copy of the Holy Quran, which is left open. Ask any Muslims in your friend circle if they can leave the Holy Book of Quran open. It's simply not how Muslims treat their holy book. This propagandist from New York Post then keeps repeating the presence of chemicals, but you can't see any of them in the video. Her camera then pauses on Palestinian kafir. Now watch the video and make up your own mind on whether this was staged or not.
We are here inside the New Orleans terrorist home. You can see that it's been clearly destroyed, the door at least, from the FBI raid yesterday. But if we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to. He had this work area here, lots of different chemicals splayed around, and different electronics. This is, again, a work setup. Left receipts, just very unkempt in here. If we go over here, actually, you can see the Department of Justice documents here, the search warrant, and the property that they recorded here, which seems to be a lot of chemicals. Again, just left in disarray. There's a bedroom back here, and his, what appears to be his collection of religious materials, his Qurans, an open Quran with a passage there, as well as even the Bible here, but mostly books on Islam, and his prayer rug just to the left of me here. And if we go back, there's another bedroom here. You can see he left all these belongings, contact lenses, personal belongings, his bathroom. This seems to be some sort of workspace, again, with other chemicals here. The light's still on, some kind of station set up here. We're not really sure what that was for. In, you know, what we can assume was also a bedroom. You can see clothes left here, and just a sign that someone was here up until those last few moments when neighbors said he left just before the New Year's holiday, saying he was done with his lease, it was up, and he was on his way to New Orleans where he would live there. Didn't take any furniture because he said his new home would be furnished. That's all we know so far.
Let's be absolutely clear here. The US government has used the bogey of ISIS to pursue their colonial agenda or hide their crimes against humanity. If they were serious about fighting the ISIS, how come they have removed the $10 million bounty from Abu Muhammad al-Julani's head? How come this once brutal terrorist is now a great friend of America? Recent developments from Syria and the wider Middle East have truly exposed the hypocrisy of the US administration and their links with ISIS. They're lying when they say that they are against ISIS. They created ISIS with the help of Israel to expand their terrorist agenda across the Middle East, but defame Islam and Muslims in the process. That's the reality. So the man allegedly responsible for the New Orleans attack was an ex-US soldier. Then the man responsible for the explosion in a Tesla Cybertruck outside a Trump hotel was also a US soldier. Both are dead now and not alive to defend themselves. Meanwhile, the army of the Western propaganda machinery has been deployed to peddle the ISIS narrative. These narratives have been unleashed on us at a time when the critics of the Israeli terrorism for their war crimes in Gaza and against the H-1B visa were gaining momentum on social media. Now suddenly, everyone is talking about the ISIS, and Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, has pushed all his energy on the grooming gangs in the UK. Just go to his timeline to understand how this thug is digging up several years old story to divide the British society along the ethnic lines. He clearly wants to create unrest in the UK as he did during the Southport attack last year. But the question is, why is the UK government led by Zionist Keir Starmer and his gang tolerating Elon Musk's dangerous move? I'm not surprised why people are leaving Elon Musk's toxic social media platform. Not that I'm a fan of BBC journalism anymore, but this thug called Elon Musk had reacted angrily when a BBC representative accused him of turning Twitter into a platform which promotes hate speech. Had the BBC chap done a little bit of research, he would have been able to silence Musk. But on this occasion, he had allowed him to project himself as some kind of free speech messiah.
We've spoken to people very recently who were involved in moderation, and they just say there's not enough people to police this stuff, particularly around hate speech in the company. Is that
what hate speech are you
address?
talking about? I mean, you use Twitter.
Right.
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
But just a personal anecdote. Like, what do you? I don't.
Personally, for you, I would see I get more of that kind of content. Yeah, personally, but I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest of Twitter.
So you see more hate speech personally.
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful. What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm
just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content. And I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use.
You can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why, because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore, because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
said
said
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
my
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.